Greetings, fellow space travelers. BionicDance here. I need to talk to you about a matter of the gravest importance, because something has come to my attention that I'm not sure people know about, and I really need to talk about it. Okay, it's going to sound crazy at first, I realize, because it's going to sound like some sort of conspiracy theory out of the X-Files or something, but it's absolutely true. And I have to talk about it. I have to warn people about it. Because you see, there are these parasites that have started infesting people's bodies, essentially taking them over, feeding off of them. Like, I don't want to say feeding off of their life force, because there's no such thing as life force, but that's kind of what they're doing. I mean, I don't have another word for it. Like feeding off of basically like their body fat, feeding off of their energy, I guess, you know, their nutrients, their body nutrients. That's really what I'm trying to say, is life force. What am I thinking? Their body nutrients. It's basically what they're doing. And now, okay, not everybody is at risk. Okay, that's something that's very important. Okay, not everybody is at risk. Only about half the population is actually technically at risk, so don't worry about that. But even so, that is a significant portion of the planet. So a lot of people do have to be careful about these, well, what can I call them? I mean, they're not exactly like leeches. I mean, I guess in a way you could call them that. But the thing is that they are, in a weird sort of way, related to us, to human beings. I mean, they have human DNA, kind of. Well, they do. And like I say, they will feed off of you slowly so that they can grow. And as they do, they get larger. And the thing is that while some of us do actually know about these things and would like to get rid of them, other people actually find them oddly pleasant in a weird sort of way. And you know, there are those that think that you should not be allowed, if you don't actually want them, that you shouldn't be allowed to get rid of them. There are people who have fetishized these parasites, people who have actually decided that if you are like, no, I don't want to be infested by this leech thing, by this parasite, that you can't get rid of it because of its relationship to humanity. They say, no, it has human DNA, therefore it's a person. Therefore it's one of us and you cannot get rid of it. But the way I see it, okay, if like, say, my next door neighbor decides, hey, I'm gonna knock on Kate's door and start feeding on her, you know what? I'm like, no, you don't get to do that. This is my body. I get to decide what happens to it. You don't get to feed on me. No, you bloody don't. In fact, I think we have laws against that kind of thing. I get to decide what happens to me. You don't get to beat me up. You don't get to shoot me and kill me. You don't get to cannibalize me. You don't get to have sex with me against my will. None of that stuff, right? So why on earth should any creature, whether it has human DNA or not, get to use me as some sort of, you know, food source? Why should it be able to feed on me against my will? It shouldn't. There's no reason that should be allowed. Of course not. Whether it's some sort of zombie apocalypse or parasite infestation or for any other reason. If I decide that my body is not a food source for some external life form, for some intruder, you know, whether it's got human DNA or if it's a frickin' mosquito, I should be able to say, no, you don't get to use me as your food source. makes perfect sense to me, but there are some people out there, these cult groups, these underground parasite fetishists who've decided, no, it has human DNA, it's one of us, om. So they've actually infiltrated all levels of the government and the media to try to force public opinion to make us see these creatures, these parasites, these leeches as a good thing, as people in their own right. They're not. If you take a look at pictures of them, you can actually find pictures of them on the web if you know what to search for, but they're tiny. They're little things. They certainly don't look like people. They don't look like one of us. Not really. I mean, they have similar characteristics, kind of. I mean, they'll have a head and maybe little things that might be like eyes and little, nubby little limbs and shit. But they're like, you can almost see through them practically. Some of them even have like tails and shit. They don't really look human. Not really. You could even mistake them for other things completely at certain stages of their development. They don't have fully formed brains even. They can't think. They don't really have self-awareness. They're barely creatures, really. They're creatures obviously, but they don't have the power of independent thought. Not really. They're just leeches. They're stimulus response machines at this point. All they do is feed. And that's it. They're mindless. That's it. It's like a zombie plague that feeds on the bodies of half the population. That's it. So if you don't want one of these things to be feeding on you, you should be able to say, no, I don't give it permission to be doing that to me. But apparently they're even trying to pass laws to make it so that you can't make that decision to not have it feed upon you. How bizarre is that? I mean, it sounds like we're living in some sort of strange conspiracy theory, like you ever see They Live or something? Some bizarre alien invasion movie. It's sick and twisted and wrong. How can anyone allow this to happen? I tell ya. So we have to find some way to make these weird parasite fetishists go back into the shadows where they belong so the rest of us can live in harmony, free of any unwanted body parasites, so that we can have the body autonomy that we deserve. Until next time, fellow space travelers, this is BionicDance saying don't run on automatic. Instead, please think.
Please take the time to rate this video. And hey, if you dig what I do, subscribe. And please visit my Zazzle store, where you'll find all kinds of BionicDance merchandise. Help control the religious population. Have your theists spayed or neutered.